Hey everyone, it's Footy Prime. And we have Dubs, and we have JC, and Jimmy, and Wonger, and me, Shams. Craig might join us. He's in Vancouver right now. It's 5:40 in the morning, his time. He said he'd join us, and Craig's an early riser, but maybe there's a big lineup at the McDonald's on the island this morning. That's where he probably is. Hey, Canada looked pretty good, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
2 wins in Europe, one emphatic. One was a professional performance, highlighted by a wonderful goal. Although, Craig Bellamy did suggest, I kind of thought we should have had that one. Taking the shine off Derek Cornelius. That's why we need Craig. Now, there's an angle from that free kick from behind the goal, and you just see the pace that it came in at, which suggests to me that the keeper had no freaking chance. What do you think, Dubs? To me, that was just a brilliant free kick. Craig Bellamy, you and your golf club can go to hell.
Yeah, I think so. I'm very much in agreement with you there. I don't know. I think that's maybe what he feels like he has to say. And he also said that he hates losing more than he likes to win, which isn't, I mean, that's pretty understood, I think, when you get to a really high level. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we do need Forrest. I think you just give credit where credit's due, and that's to Derek Cornelius for smashing that free kick into the back of the net. Like, it even causes the net to kind of move a little bit, like not to come off its moorings, but like it was whipped in there. And obviously it was precise enough. It goes up and over the wall. I think you just give credit where credit's due. And that's, I think, to Canada and to Derek Cornelius. And I think he was also upset with the fact that he saw Jesse Marsh kind of slapping hands and maybe celebrating before the final whistle. So I think he had a bee in his bonnet or something. And he was just pissed off, obviously, with his team not getting the result. But I think because of the way that Canada was able to win that match.
Jimmy, maybe if the wall wasn't there, he would have saved it.
Is that what everybody's talking about now? Why do you need a wall?
That's last week's narrative.
Yeah.
You need one from there. But you know what? There was talk coming from the camp over the last number of days about Cornelius every day just taking free kicks. And everybody was raving about his technique. And I think when I saw him step up and grab the ball and kind of brushed everybody away, just move. I've got this. And I'm looking going, okay, here we go. We got a center back about to take a free kick here. And then when he puts it down, takes a breath, and then as he steps up and he leans into it as well, his technique was bang on, just everything about it. And then he had that whip in the pace and it drops. And I was just like, what a free kick. I actually jumped off the seat. I was like, wow, that was incredible. Just so much power and precision. It was, I don't think you can hit a better strike than what we witnessed there. It was world-class strike. It was perfect.
I'm trying to think of other centre-backs or defenders who took free kicks.
Ronald.
Are you talking about Canada?
No. Overall, Jimmy who?
Oh,
Ronald Koeman.
Ronald Koeman with that left peg.
But
right?
And he would smash it and whip it. He was ridiculous.
Shoot from everywhere, wouldn't he? I remember watching 88, the Dutch, and that brilliant Dutch team. And with my mates back in England just laughing because he would get the ball and wherever he was in the pitch, he'd shoot. That's what it felt like. 50 yards out. What the hell? David Alaba too. Brilliant from free kicks. Yeah, there aren't many though. And let's not put Derek quite in that category just yet. He needs to score a few more. But I think he's got the job from the right-hand side at least, hasn't he? Moving forward, surely.
100%. 100%.
Set pieces, right? They're a threat now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, isn't that your boy there, Nicolas Gagnon?
Nicolas Gagnon, yeah, absolutely.
Was he there? He's been there for this camp too?
Yep.
So it's Nicolas. That's the reason.
Yeah, I'll do to Nicola. I'm sure he'd say the same thing. No, Canada does look better though, right? We've seen a different look. We've seen Ali on them. Obviously, Eustachio's on them before he got injured and he leaves camp. So I think it's just really, really good to see that different players are stepping up and they have that quality of service on there. And obviously for Derek, I think what I love about that is obviously everything that Jimmy just said, that his technique, the way he leans into it, the way it goes up and over the wall, the pace on it. But as he wins that ball, it's Saliba that draws the foul. But as Canada's pressing, they get it to the byline. Williams clears it through a little bit of pressure from Tajon, and he's kind of clearing it to the inside with his right foot. And it's Derek Cornelius who steps up to win that ball. And then he's the one who steps up to take the free kick. And what I love about it too is, Jimmy saying like he kind of brushes everybody off and he's going to take it. There's something to that, because that's next level confidence to be able to look at the likes of John David and other people on that pitch who would have every right to say, this is my ball. And he's like, no, that this is mine, and I'm going to fucking put this in the back of the net. I love that.
I'm sure that if you're a teammate and you've been seeing him do this all week long, training, sticking it in the top corner. I mean, whether it was decided before the match or not, I don't know. But you see him grab the ball, Jimmy. You're thinking, okay, yeah. If you're John David, yeah, I'll step aside. We'll let DC have this one.
Yeah, of course, because with like after training, everybody sits around and you work on your own individual self and figure out what you need. And a lot of guys, will take penalties. Some guys will, whip balls into the box or corners, and some guys take free kicks. And so what's going on, and you have a little look around. And when training's done, you kind of sit down. A few guys are still taking free kicks. And obviously they've gone, yeah, you've been on fire this week, just wrapping them into the top corner. So away you go. And because where it was on the pitch, and he's a lefty, the righties were probably like, yeah, go ahead, we'll leave you alone. Hit this one.
Talk about that a bit, Jimmy. Like as a lefty, like would you, like obviously the free kicks that I've seen you score, not live, but like archival ones, because we're that old now, right? One at TFC comes to mind. I think I've seen you score a couple in like old footage of men's national teams. But when you get into that area where like as a left footer, you're better suited to step up and to bend that up and over the wall, is that something that you're saying to the guys, or that they're just deferring to you because they're like, yeah, this is somebody with a wand of a left foot, like I'm just going to leave it for you?
Yeah, if it was on that side of the goal, so if I'm facing the goal, the right side, then me being a lefty, I would be stepping up to go away. This isn't righty territory. Unless I look and I see that the wall is tucked inside and then the righty can wrap it around. But if I'm looking, I'm going, okay, the wall's set. I'm going, this is mine. I'm taking this. Being a lefty, so I can drop it over. But then a lot of times too, when I was closer in, I would go for power, where I would just tell someone, just touch it, and I'm gonna tank this thing.
I love the commentary from those Jimmy Brennan free kicks. Up step Brennan. He made no mistake.
I just think in the 60s.
Yeah, I just think they used to choose who kicked the ball for those type of kicks with who had the baggiest clothes on. Because I remember seeing Jimmy in the late 90s, and he looked like a balloon flopping out there. It was like parachute pants, but shorts. That's what it looked like.
And risky business, because Jimmy didn't wear underwear.
No, yeah, it's like there's some tipping going on.
Well, you said flopping out there in more ways than one, Wonger.
It was, everything was baggy back then. Remember MC Hammer?
Emphasis on the bag.
My shorts were like his pants when I played.
Like
can't touch this.
Much like your free kicks, yeah, you can't touch this.
Wizard sleeve.
I tell you what, I really like those Canada shirts, by the way.
You like the white ones?
I do like the white with the red stripe. I think they're great. I know people criticize them, but yeah, simple, but they're nice.
You know why they look better, Sharms? Because we're winning. That's why they look better.
You know what? That's a very good point. There's no association with a terrible team.
Yeah.
We're kind of blinded by the ability of the team who beat Europe 4-0 over the last week, which is pretty amazing, really, if you think about it. We just smashed Europe. We did. We beat Europe.
Ryder Cup.
Yeah, exactly. But this game, listen, okay, it wasn't as emphatic perhaps as the Romania match, but I thought the first half was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And then even in the second half,
could have been Sharms.
Could have been what?
As emphatic. They missed a couple of
that's
crossbars, like
crossbar post
2-0 right after, right?
Yeah,
should have been a penalty too.
That was definitely a penalty.
Yes, it was.
I still don't understand how the referee actually give it one of these. He's got the ball. Didn't even come close to the ball.
No.
And that's a Premier League referee as well, by the way. And you know what? We were kind of talking about it, where a lot of the referees now you know, they'll make a decision or whatever, but they rely heavily on VAR, right? Because that's their outlet. And in this situation, in this match, you've just felt at times you don't have VAR. You've got to make your own decision here. And he made some terrible calls. Terrible calls. I think there were 7 yellow cards. Like, just he was losing his mind at one point. I didn't think he had a great game at all, the referee.
That's a good point, Jimmy. Are referees losing their ability, a bit of brain muscle when making decisions, because they can rely now? It's a bit like with the internet as it is, and with AI, our brains are becoming mush because we don't need to retain shit anymore. We just go to our phones.
Yeah.
Right? We're half the humans we used to be. Is it the same with referees, I wonder now? And when they don't have that tool, that accessory, VAR, you see the limitations more.
Well, of course, because it gives you that little bit of confidence, right, in your call. Because in that situation, if there was VAR, he would have went to the side, had a look at it. He would have went, yeah, penalty, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's got to make that call on his own with no backup. And
Yeah,
he was in a good position as well. He was in a very good position. He was in line with the play, and to not see that was a blatant penalty blew my mind.
Yeah, because Richie's foot gets stepped on. Like it's as clear as day.
Yeah.
And you're right, he was in a good position. I wonder if it was like going the other way. If the assistant referee was also on that side, is that the bit of help that the referee needs? You know, if that, obviously the assistant referee is not going to raise his flag right on that as the referee's call to make, but maybe you feel like a quick glance, to give him that confidence. But you're right, it's the confidence in the moment, because you have the backing of the VAR, but it's a crutch.
Yeah.
For the referee, so that in that moment where you have to be, coming up with that snap judgment, there's a reluctance to do it.
Yeah.
The onus is less on that central referee than it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I was again. Here's a great example of brain mush. I had a great. I had a retort to Dubs there, and literally within 3 seconds, that retort disappeared. I don't know what the hell I was going to say. I was saying, however, before then in my brain, must mention Richie Laryea, who I thought played really well again. But there was a raging debate on Twitter, on the X, on our Footy Prime conversations about Richie and who is at this point the left back. Now, forget Fonzie for a second here, whether he plays up or at left back, but there's a big debate on whether Richie should be there ahead of Sam Adekubi when Sam gets healthy. If Sam gets healthy, fingers crossed he will. And would you rather have a true left-sided player at left back rather than Richie? But then you look at Richie's performance the last couple of games, and clearly he can play the position. So what are you doing there, Dubs? Would you rather have a true left-sided player like Sam when he's healthy? Or do you think Richie's going to bump Sam from the pecking order?
I think Richie's bumped him. I think I see the appeal, and as a manager, to have somebody who's truly left-footed in that position, I think that puts you at an advantage. But I think you look at everything that Richie does, how he gets up and down on that touchline, he can cut inside, he can defend well. He's really robust, right? And he's resilient, and he can replicate those runs, and he can also contribute to the attack. That great move where the guy just slides right by him as he gets to the byline and he cuts it back, and then he goes on his right foot and he tries it on net, and it just flashes across goal because he doesn't wrap his foot around it. I'm not saying Sam can't do that, but like that's what Richie gives you going forward. And then he also gives you everything defensively, and he gives you that edge and that attitude that we talk about kind of ad nauseum that he imbues into the squad. So I think obviously it's not recency bias, but Richie's playing. He's playing at a very, very high level. I think Sam would have to come in and disrupt that and earn it, even as a natural left-footed, like a left footer. Like that gives you a little bit of an edge maybe, but you compare them straight across the board. I think I give the edge to Richie.
Well, this argument, Jimmy, on Twitter, a couple of guys were going back at it, back and forth with each other. Smoke City FC responding to Yossi Checker, dude, you should learn football. If Davies is playing up top, Adekubi is starting at left back. He is both a better defender and better in attack. Richie takes too many touches. Sam plays with his head up, is a better passer, and is the best crosser on the team from the left. What do you think about that?
Well, I think, listen, he's got a point there. And at the end of the day, football, it's all about opinions, right? Everybody's got their own players that they like, and they see the game differently. I think with Richie, what I do like is that he just brings that bite, that tenacity where, it seems like the whole team feeds off of it once Richie gets going. And Richie needs to play on the edge, right? He walks that little tightrope. At times you're going, this guy's getting sent off. But have you ever seen Richie get sent off?
Good question. Has he never been sent off?
But he always gets booked. He always plays on that edge. And you're like, this guy's getting sent, but he never gets
Pretty
sent
remarkable, actually, when you think about it, Jimmy. It's a really great point.
You know what I mean? So, and I think he gets, he just brings some energy and life into a match. And I like that about Richie. Adekubi, straightforward kind of wing back, loves to get up and down the lines, got great delivery into the box. But I think at the moment it's all about form and who's playing well. Obviously, you can wish for Adekubi, but the fact is he's not playing at the moment. And we don't know if he's going to be back, if he's going to be ready in time for the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So if Adekubi's out of the picture, then it's got to be Richie Laryea. It's a fact. That's the way it is. Nobody's taken anything away from Adekubi because he is a brilliant left back. I actually prefer when Adekubi's playing left back and Davies is further up, because just the way that they're playing. Yes, you got two lefties down that side, but if Adekubi isn't fit and the competition isn't there, then it has to be Richie Laryea. He has to be in that side, because Richie just brings so much bite and professionalism that this team needs him. He has to be involved.
According to MyCrutch AI, Richie has never been red carded in his professional career.
Mm-hmm.
Not once.
No.
That is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He walks that line perfectly.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
The Welsh team there were at least 3 or 4 guys who wanted to punch him in the nose at the end of the match, including the coach.
He's just a disruptor, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just disrupts everything. If you played against him, you'd want to smash his face in.
It's 100%.
Hey, I bet Craig Bellamy freaking actually loves him.
Yeah.
Because Craig Bellamy played the same type of
Bellers was like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Complete dick on the pitch. But
And
it's
actually,
into a really good manager.
Sorry, Sharms, to give the referee some props. Like, I thought that he did well in the moment where, was it Brooks with the Welsh team, and Richie kind of going back and forth and battling on that flank, where it was after the play and he kind of grabbed, not a horse collar, but he kind of grabbed Richie and threw him down, and Canada had the advantage, but instead of playing the advantage through the middle of the pitch, he whistled it down and he cautioned the Welsh player. And I liked that, because it kind of took the sting out of everything. They were still going to go at it. It was still going to be a great battle, but the referee was like, no, like we're not allowing this. Like that's too far. So I appreciated that, even if, I think I agree with Jimmy that he did lose the plot a little bit and lost control of the match at times.
Hey, Jimmy, you must have played against Craig Bellamy at some point.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But obviously he was left-sided too, wasn't he? So
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
So you wouldn't have necessarily. Yeah, I loved him. At Liverpool, he was really great.
He was a good player.
Yeah, and just played on the edge as well, right?
Yeah.
Remember the golf club?
Because he was at Norwich.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was at Norwich at one point.
Oh, did he start there at Norwich?
Yeah.
Okay. And then was it Norwich? And then where did he go? He had City and Liverpool, but there was somewhere else. Where did he play? Let's look.
Didn't he go up to Scotland for a bit?
Celtic.
Right.
Dubs with the Celtic call. Nice.
It would have been better if I said Celtic, not up to Scotland, but anyway.
I always enjoyed Craig Bellamy.
That's a Celtic family.
Oh, Christ. He actually played. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Norwich, he started out in 96, played 4 years. Coventry, of course. Yeah. Newcastle, Celtic on loan just for 2005. Blackburn, Liverpool, West Ham. Is it West Ham? I don't remember that at all for some reason. City, Cardiff, back to Liverpool, and then ended his career with Cardiff as well. So, yeah, overall, really good performance. Kone, are you surprised? We discussed it last podcast. We thought Kone should and would get the start. I guess we're right about something. I thought he was pretty good once again. Dubs?
I will go. Yes. I was going to defer to the guy who was covering the match.
You know, podcasting, you gotta kind of send it to a certain person.
Yeah,
I expect you to read my mind.
I thought he did really well because I think you have to discuss the context of how he gets the start, right? It's after him coming off and looking petulant and argumentative and not being a team player. Goes, at the presser, he's on the dais with Jesse Marsh and he's going to get the nod. But I think it was Saliba and Kone having a very strong match. I think it was the way that they were connected. You had Ali and Tejan tucking in when they were defending, which Wales, it has to be said, like in the middle of that first half, which I thought was quite strong, you did see really good patience in the build up from Wales, where Canada was also patient. They were waiting for those triggers to send players on, trying to push them and bait them into playing kind of on the flanks, but they kept coming back to those two center backs. And then they were able to connect like line breaking pass with the strikers and then a quick layoff. And then they were going really vertical. They were playing quick and it was successful a number of times. But I think Kone and Saliba off the ball did the work to screen the back line. I think Luc de Fougerolles was great again next to Cornelius. So you had kind of that box in the middle. They were trying to mitigate that central penetration, which I thought, Wales were successful in breaking at times. But I think Kone, you see the way that he created, I think that the direct play and like using Tejan and leaning on his strength, which is a little bit more direct, playing him into space, stretching Wales that way, going 1v1, getting to the byline, and then the pitch balance on the opposite side and like the triangulation between Ali, John David, Saliba drifting over, Richie overlapping and contributing to the attack. I really liked that a lot. And then Kone on the right, self-creating those pockets, but exploiting those pockets that Tejan was creating because he was pushing higher up. I thought he had another strong game. I mean, maybe not as good as he looked against Romania, but still 2 back-to-back strong performances. And I think you can say the same for the team, where it was maybe not quite as convincing, but I think mature is a word that I've seen thrown around, but I think composed I like a little bit better because it was riding the ebbs and flows, finding the quality, a little bit untidy at times in possession, say from a guy like Segur, who I think had a better game against Romania as well, but just doing what was required in the moments from Canada.
Jimmy, anything to add there?
No, Dubs is bang on. Wales, exactly what she was saying. Like they try to penetrate, they try to get through, and they broke through quite a few times, going straight down the middle. You could see it would go up to the fullback, back to the center backs, because that's where they wanted to start their attack. And I thought with Canada, part of the reason why they went into that medium block was because it left space in behind. So as soon as they did win it, they had room to go. So it's different from what we saw against Romania, where they're pressing high. This one, it was kind of, okay, let's get in that medium block. Let's bring Wales into our hands. And then as soon as we win it with our triggers and we get those certain areas where we want them to go, then we've got space for our attack with Tanny to go, with Buchanan, use our pace. And you saw a number of times they got in behind. And I mean, Tanny got in a couple of times, did he, because there was so much space in behind, but just his quality lets him down a little bit at times.
I didn't think Kone needed to moonwalk off the pitch when he got subbed and then do the worm on the sidelines to show how happy he was. But
and you were happy he felt humbled, right, Sharman? He felt a little humbled.
The way he hugged his manager, and stuck his tongue in his ear. Yeah, I love you. I love you. Didn't need to do that. We get the idea. Hey, sorry, Wonga.
No, I was just, one of the things we were talking about earlier, Sharman, before we started recording, was we now know who the standouts are, and I was thinking who missed out on opportunity this European trip, and in my brain I'm thinking, Alphonso Davies is hurt. He's got an ACL injury. Dubs and I have talked about this. Sometimes it's 6 months when everything goes well. Sometimes it's a year. Sam Adekugbe, injury and injury prone, unfortunately, and hopefully can get that injury bug out of his system in Vancouver. Johnston yes, he's not an injury guy. He plays through everything. But he did mess up his hamstring, right? And I'm just sitting there going, who's missing out? And then Osorio doesn't get invited. And I'm like, and Hoylett does get re-invited. And there seems to me, we were talking about who's smudge worthy versus Sharpie worthy. And I think we're starting to see things line up. And unfortunately, there's going to be people that you may have expected a year ago to be in this lineup who are going to be outside looking in, which is sports, but it's also these personalities and teammates of, who've given a lot to Canada soccer who might not get a chance. It's just interesting to me.
You know what, Jimmy, I wonder with Oso, look at the depth in the middle of the park and on the left. I think Oso's got a lot of work to do to get into the squad for the World Cup.
Yeah, he does. Look, I think with this squad, there's no guarantees, is there? It's you gotta earn your right to be in this squad, and you have to perform every minute of that match. And I think that's why even the subs that are coming off the bench are keeping that standard high, because people want to be a part of this squad going into this, into the World Cup. So, nobody's going to get a freebie here. That's for sure. And Jesse made it clear, nothing's for free. You got to work to be a part of this team. And I think everybody understands that. And once that happens, then, it elevates a standard, doesn't it? People have to realize that, I can't take the foot off the pedal here. I have to give everything. I've got every minute, even if I'm on for 5 minutes, I've got to press, I've got to work, I've got to run, training, the exact same thing. So, there's a standard that's set now with this national team. And if you don't meet that standard, you're not going to that World Cup.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more the guys who were excluded, to your point, Wonger, from the camp itself, because to hear Jesse Marsh, he was just over the moon with the performance of everybody who was in camp over the course of those 10 days. So you think about a Kyle Laryea, obviously nobody's going to miss the birth of a child. It's an important moment in your life. And I think that takes precedence, but you wonder, has he missed out on this experience, and maybe he's fallen down that depth chart, even though Jesse Marsh is always effusive in his praise of Kyle Laryea, the man, and what he means to the team and how important a figure and a leader he is in that group. So I think he'll always be involved, but did he miss out on an opportunity to remind everybody about, to Jimmy's point, you get 5 minutes, you get 10 minutes to close out a match, what you can bring to the squad to just show and remind everyone of what he can do.
But I don't think Tanny won the spot.
Well, if you look at Romania, and obviously it's over the course of 2 matches, right? And one long window, as Jesse keeps referring to, kind of this fall. I think he does enough in that Romania match, in my estimation. Obviously, you're looking at the balance of everything and your play over the course of 2 matches. Can you replicate it? A word I keep saying, within the match, but then also repeat performances of that quality as a team, but also as an individual. He didn't do that, but I think he was bright enough in that first match that's what Jesse is going to remember.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, Jimmy. I'm not saying that at all, but the finishing is somewhat questionable at this level, and we've seen that.
That's the problem. If you're a 9, you're a striker. What's your job?
Yeah,
score goals. Now he's the type of guy, he needs 10 chances to score 1 goal, and I just feel that he's not clinical enough. And at that level, when the games are very, very tight, you get one opportunity, you need that striker that's going to put the ball in the back of the net for you. And he can't do that. You see far too often. Look, Romania, he gets in behind. He's got 20 yards, 30 yards in front of him. He takes it, he drives forward, gets into great areas. He missed a goal by 20 yards. The same exact thing against Wales. He gets into a great area, has a strike, and he's 15 feet over the bar. It's just, he just doesn't have that striker kind of instinct where they just touch, bang, goal. It's sometimes I think he gets in his own head where he might have too much time and then he's overthinking what's happening. At one time when he was driving at in behind. He had that space. Remember, I think it was Saliba plays it in behind.
Mm-hmm.
Great ball in behind, and he's gone. But just his movement, he allows the defender to come towards him. And if you're going to hit it with your left foot, you can't go in there. You've got to pull back out, because then that gives you an extra maybe 2-3 yards where that defender can't make up that ground and then strike it clean. And remember, he's just struck it over the bar. And I was just like, how can you do that? It's impossible. At your level, playing La Liga, Villarreal, these opportunities you have to take, especially at international football. So for me, I just think he needs too many chances to get that one goal.
So who's that guy?
Yeah, well,
it's Kyle
that's
Laryea.
the point.
Right, but it's Kyle Laryea with
the
the physical attributes of a Tani Oluwaseyi.
Now, you like Tani because he can buy into the way that Jesse Marsh wants to play, right? He's got the pace, he can press, he can start that attack, but he's just not as clinical as what a Jonathan David or a Kyle Laryea is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he brings everything else, but it's just that goal scoring aspect that lets him down.
Yes, just that goal scoring aspect.
With being a striker, that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
But Kyle's got to prove that he is still clinical as well. Still clinical. In the past, he has been scored. No one scored more goals for Canada outside of John David than Kyle Laryea.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And at club level, he struggled last year. He got his move, though, to Feyenoord. It's a massive move for him, right? He's got to prove that, because I'm with you. I think if Marsh had to pick a team tomorrow for the World Cup, I think Kyle's probably still in there.
Yeah.
But I think that spot might be the most murky out of all the spots in the team. If we kind of agree that Richie's, if not Richie, then we know that left back's going to be Alfonso. Okay, that's not quite as smudgy as it once was. Midfield, okay, Eustachio, it's still smudgy beside him,
Mm-hmm.
but Kone's really turned some heads, and Saliba was brilliant, so it's getting a little bit clearer right now. But that spot there, Dubs, like you mentioned there, beside John, I don't know. It's going to come down to who's in form, I think. And Promise got a few minutes in this window. We saw Theo Bair come on the pitch yesterday, and I thought the subs did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson is still, obviously in the picture as well. So I think that it might be the one position that I honestly have no clue about.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think, though, like what Jimmy was saying about what Tani can do in terms of the demands, the way that he's bought into that style, and he can fulfill the demands of the Jesse Marsh philosophy. I think that might be the kicker more so than a clinical edge, but you can't tick those other boxes. And you look at, I think it was you, Wong, or you mentioned a couple of crossbars, or you like Kone, that's Kone and what he can do, what he affords you as a team when he's on his game, the way he bursts into that space and he drives into that space and he smashes it off the post, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the diffusional, the brilliant kind of cheeky play outside of the boot, and then it goes off the crossbar. There's also in the beginning of the match where Canada was so strong through the first 10 minutes where Tejan cuts it inside and he tries to wrap his left foot around it and he misses by a country mile. But like, you think like those are grade A opportunities. Like Canada's XG was through the roof through that first half, right? And even I don't think Richie's would have as much weight there or like be ranked as high. But I mean, those are opportunities where you're in the box. You need to be more clinical. So my point being, if Tani can do all the work, do all the blue collar stuff, do all the running, do all the pressing, lead the line, stretch, create those gaps, can those other guys come in? And in Jesse's mind, is that enough to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not offshoot, but like to make up for that lack of clinical edge that we're seeing with Tani here, because you're getting it from, that ensemble around him.
There's a stat in hockey about how often players are on the ice for goals. It's the plus minus. Is the plus minus something in football also? Do they look at that? Because, hey, if you're on and every time you're on, even if you're not providing that stat of a goal or an assist, but you're opening up areas, and your team is winning. Your club is winning every time you're on. Does that make a difference?
I think, isn't it goals per minutes played, I think might be the most comparable stat.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
We don't have plus minus because you're 11v11. You're constantly on.
No, I get it.
On
It's
and
just
off.
there's that level of who's my winning team. If you're I don't know, but for me, if hey, these are my starters and they keep winning, I'm not going to F with the winning.
Yeah, but you know what? As Jesse Marsh will remind us over and over, and it makes complete sense. In modern international football, you haven't really got your best starting 11. You have it depending on who you're playing against. If you're playing against a team with a deep block and going to sit back and do nothing, then your 11 is very different to if you're going to play against France or someone. So, ideally, you have a team that's so good they can do both jobs, and that's what you have. The Frances and the Germanys of the world can do that. But at Canada, it might be a very different team.
Yeah, I don't think France and Germany are going, hey, who are we playing today? They're just going to put their... And maybe they do. What do I know?
Well, I'm sure they still, they've got so much depth there. There's always competition for places. But yeah, I don't think there's a stat necessarily for that. But I think there's still big question marks.
Can there be? Make me happy.
Well, we can create it right now if you want. Give it some thought. Create a stat.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, Sharon, before we moved on, I pulled up ESPN because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting about anybody, like to Wonger's question about like who didn't get an opportunity to make an impact. So I was just looking at who didn't maybe come off the bench. And I thought it was quite funny because Luc de Fougerolles is down as Luc Rollet, Rollet.
Really?
Apparently de Fougerolles was too long. He had to shorten it and change it completely.
Or they know something about his parents.
Yeah, look
like,
Rollet.
starting some rumors,
clubs, right? Biggie Roll, I think that's what they call him.
Really?
But listen, he played pretty well. But one of the most exciting parts about this whole 10 days is they played 2 European teams, didn't concede 1 goal, and that's without their best defender in Moise Bambito. Who, don't forget about Moise Bambito. There's no one on this entire squad that I'm more excited about than Moise Bambito. I think this guy can be pretty freaking special. And Jesse Marsh has spoken about it. His manager Nees has spoken about it. He's still so young. And it's not just the athleticism, it's the ability to be in the right place at the right time. His relationship with Derek Cornelius as well has been proven at the highest level. Jimmy, I mean, when you get that guy back in this team, man, that suddenly they're even better.
Oh, watch out.
Ooh, watch out, he said.
No, I like him terms, and I love your enthusiasm for him.
Yeah,
It makes up for the lack of it shown by you.
Overboard?
I think he deserves it because he is an unbelievable defender. He's solid. I mean, he brings so much to the team, and it does it. Makes that back line even stronger. I mean, you think you've played against Wales and Romania, and limited shots next to nothing on target, and you walk away with 2 clean sheets, which is remarkable on its own. With a young center back alongside Cornelius, who
19 years
is got like 8 pro games in his career.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's wild. It's crazy watching him. And if you didn't know him, you'd be Googling him and going, hey, who's this kid? This kid's pretty good. With his little flick, the way he plays out the back, his composure. I would be watching a match if I didn't know him. I'd be like, this guy's probably got maybe 200 games under his belt. Where's he play? And I'd be looking and be like, hey, how is this guy playing international football? But de Fougerolles has got such a bright future. But I think, he just needs more games. He's going to get better and better. Obviously, when Bambito comes back, he's going to be stepping straight back into that center back position alongside Cornelius. But what I do think is that they've got to figure out that goalkeeping situation, and they've got to figure it out quick. And the reason being is because, I think we know with the back line and with the goalkeeper, they need to have that chemistry. The goalkeeper has to get used to the back four, and the more games you play, you get a better understanding. Like I said it on TV the other day, where that if I know and I'm comfortable that I've got a goalkeeper behind me and how good he is, I don't even have to look back because I know where he is. I know his starting positions. I know if that ball's going over top of my head, he's 12, 13 yards off the goal line. And it's just building up that chemistry and that understanding. It's like when I played with the national team with Forrest, If I was playing in the back line, I knew exactly where he was going to be at all times. If the ball came back to me, I didn't even have to look. I can just pass it back because I knew where his position was going to be. And he would be telling us, get your line up, drop, get back up, swing to the left, move to the right. I wouldn't even have to look back. Sometimes when you don't have that chemistry with your keeper, your back line is constantly looking, checking over your shoulder to see where he is. So they have to figure that out, I think, relatively soon over the next number of games and start building that, because you're not going to get that chance with the back line and that goalkeeper to build that kind of that relationship that you need to have going into a big tournament.
Hey, Dubs, do you think the coaches, Jesse Marshall, would speak to the veterans at the back there, Cornelius, Johnston, and say, hey, who do you prefer playing in front of? Yeah?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Because I've had those conversations being a center midfielder and a captain and somebody part of the leadership group. Absolutely. And it's not necessarily what's going to be the decider in all of it, but it's something that's taken into account, because it's exactly what Jimmy's saying. It's not just the back line. That's the most important partnership there. Is probably likely your two center backs and the goalkeeper, but the entirety of that back line, but also everybody in front of you. Like, I've played where I've been uncertain or not had full confidence in a person in the net, whether it was for the national team or club. And it's not a good feeling. You're constantly questioning yourself and your positioning and worried about passing lanes and thinking about their weaknesses, or are they going to come here, whether it's defending a corner kick or a set piece or just in the run of play or in that open play. And it's not, you're not fully engaged in the match because you always have that doubt in the back of your mind. So if you can get that solved, as Jimmy's saying, not because it's going to be the be all end all and they're going to start every single match in a World Cup, but it's about building that relationship and that solidity, both kind of in your team structure, but then also just mentally, so that you have the freedom then to play the way that you can. There's not that nagging doubt.
Is that how you guys feel when Wong is hosting the podcast?
Yes, there's unrest.
Unrest.
Don't know what he's going to say next.
That's a given. That's a given. I did want to mention, if you're watching on YouTube, Jimmy keeps, I think he's out of the picture soon. He keeps leaning to his left a little bit, right?
Is that because the bus podcast is beside him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jimmy put a new floor in.
Slowly
and
moving
this
towards
is his
the bus.
flooring issue.
Right.
Oh, no.
Hi, Stevie and Kev. Hi.
Hi, best friends.
Park that bus.
Them in their big shiny studio. We got a shiny studio too at Sirius.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll be getting in there soon.
Back in there again.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't leave us just yet, Jimmy, until you give us an opportunity to try and present you a package that will retain you.
I couldn't leave you guys.
you can't.
Maybe it's because of his package that he's leaning too far to the left.
Yeah.
The balloon shorts again.
So it's too bad Craig's not here, because Craig on the dark web made a big statement, I thought, yesterday. And that was that if Canada don't make the quarterfinals of the World Cup, it's a disappointment.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's a big statement.
It's a big statement. You got group games. You got an extra knockout game as well. Don't forget. And then you got the 16s. And then you got the quarterfinals.
So that's 8 down to the final 8.
It's Craig and many people out there going to be totally putting this team on a bit of a higher pedestal because they beat a Romania that was looking ahead to a World Cup qualifier a few days later, and a Wales team that, okay, it's at Swansea, 21,000 fans, but it wasn't the full strength Wales team. I don't want to extinguish the feeling around this team. There was great performances, but Wales wasn't full strength. They were resting some players. Thank you. Very good point, Jimmy.
Well done, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So you're backing Craig's statement that if it's not quarterfinals, they're terrible and should be embarrassed?
No, I was remembering your statement.
Processing. No.
No, but you know what? I tell you what I like. And I mean, look, Jesse Marsh, he actually came out. Remember when he was talking about, he didn't like the way that the media and people were handling Dane Sinclair or Kyle Larin. And this is going to relate back to Craig, and what he's thinking is that, this team should be getting to the quarterfinals, and if they don't, then it's unacceptable. But this is just a standard and the expectation of this team right now, and where we are with soccer in Canada, right? we look at this squad and these players, where they're playing in world football, and they're an exciting team to watch. And it's great to actually have a team now and start to pinpoint things and expect more from this squad. We never had this before, and we never had this over the last 10 years, 20 years. Nobody gave a shit. Now people give a shit. And now people are saying, no, this team should win the Gold Cup. This team should be in the quarterfinals. And yeah, Dane Sinclair, he should have saved that. That's not good enough. And this is great. This is great for me. I think it's brilliant that people actually are bringing this and drawing attention to certain situations within this team.
How did this team not beat Guatemala?
Getting this team playing so good.
How did this team not beat Guatemala? Okay, you're down a man, but come on. Jesus,
it's CONCACAF. We did talk about CONCACAF refereeing versus.
Yeah.
Well, here's a game for us. Want to play a game?
Always.
Yeah, right. Let's go through all the teams that have qualified for the World Cup so far, and just if you rate Canada can beat this team. Okay, there's 26 teams qualified out of 48, right? So very, very quickly, kind of rapid fire here. Okay, so obviously the host nations, can they beat the States? Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, not saying they will, but they certainly have
on
the
the day.
Good. Yeah. Australia, they're playing Australia next month.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Iran.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Very fast.
Japan just got smoked by
Japan just got smoked by the States. Yeah.
So Canada could beat Japan, right?
Yep.
Jordan.
Yep.
Break down Jordan for me, Dubs. But yeah, of course it can be Jordan. South Korea. Good game.
Great game.
On their day? Sure.
Mexico, South Korea drew last night 2-2. Just FYI.
Okay.
Yep.
So on their day, they definitely give South Korea a game. Uzbekistan.
Like when you say these teams, like this Canadian team's not scared of them.
Right. Okay. Uzbekistan, same thing, right? Beat Uzbekistan. New Zealand.
Yep.
Argentina.
Oh.
Probably not.
You might be scared of them.
So if they can avoid Argentina in the 32s and the 16s, okay. Brazil. They lost last night to Bolivia.
But let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away.
Right. Thank you. Ecuador, we're going to find out very soon.
Well, they're good.
They're a really good team. I don't think Canada could beat Ecuador at a World Cup. But Uruguay, did well at Copa, but
yeah.
Colombia,
same
thing. But Colombia's going to be favorite in that, right? Obviously. Paraguay?
Yes. Beat it,
right. Wouldn't be scared of them. Morocco. Done that before. But I think Canada's better than they were then.
They were great in the World Cup, though.
Yeah.
They were fantastic.
Ridiculous.
Tunisia.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So looking pretty good. Europe is to be confirmed. No one's qualified just yet. If Romania and Wales make it.
Yeah, we'll beat them.
But there'll be different Romania and different Wales. But, I wouldn't say quarterfinals is a disappointment that don't get there, but is it for a home nation, albeit knockout games aren't necessarily going to be through Canada?
I think round of 16, I would be happy. A round of 16 match where it doesn't matter who we're matched up against, but more just that they've arrived in a place where we can say, hey, this could go either way. And if they get into the quarterfinals, I'm ecstatic. But round of 16 for me seems to be a better goal as far as expectations.
And listen, well, until we see the draw, it's pretty kind of a moot point. We have no idea. If they get drawn with Argentina in that group, for example, okay, fighting for second place probably, and then maybe you're playing the winner of Group F with England and Germany, right? So it's tough to even say how far they'll go, but they're a very good team. I think we can agree with that, and have good character, and finally have the depth that they've been craving for a long time.
I think it's the depth, it's the quality, it's the performances that we've seen since Jesse Marsh came in, and it's the self-belief in that squad, because you have to believe that internally, like we're saying this on the outside, right? That they're thinking maybe the goal is can they win it? Probably not, but like internally, those goals are very, very high and they're lofty, but they believe that they're attainable. So that goes a long way.
Yeah.
They got confidence. That's a damn sure.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to our Jaden Nelson interview, he actually mentions the confidence that Jesse Marsh has instilled, which is we are the shit. And Jaden was a little shy to swear, and we're like, no, you go ahead and swear. So
wasn't the term "fuck it, we're Canada"? Wasn't that the
no, that
initial?
was
That
No,
was
Alistair.
Alistair.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah.
through Jesse Marsh, though. I think when he
Yes.
first got there, that was
Yeah.
the slogan they used.
Yeah,
All right,
makes a difference. Self-belief.
been a good 10 days. Really good 10 days. Not much to complain about, really, which is somewhat disappointing. I like a good whinge.
Yeah.
It's just Jimmy and Nuno being fired. That's the only thing.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Jimmy, what about that? You upset? I mean, Big Ange comes in.
I don't know. I don't know if Ange is going to be the guy. I know he's got a good relationship with Marinakis, but I don't know. And the problem is he says it every 2 years he wins a trophy. So this year we're going to win nothing. we gotta wait till next year.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's right. He did say that, didn't he? At Spurs, and he won the Europa League.
Yeah. So I know I was following on social media, seeing his first day and him at the club. And
how long before Nuno gets a job? Can't be long.
No, won't be long at all. Won't be long at all. After what he's done at Forrest, no.
Yeah. Just going over the games from yesterday. So Brazil lost. Ancelotti blaming the referee and the ball boys as well for delaying the game against Bolivia.
The ball boys, they can wreck a match for you. That's for sure.
Yep, they sure can. Just ask Arjen Robben. Remember when he pushed that ball boy?
Yeah.
Chucky, Charlie, something his name was. He was a son of like the president or something.
Oh no!
I forget what team it was now. Some lower team. God, I had fun with that one. Can you imagine? What else here? England looked pretty bloody good. Finally, 5-0 over Serbia.
Did anybody see the Norway score?
No.
11-1.
Moldova. 11-1.
Wow.
Holland 5 goals.
As he does.
Well, I tell you, man, pre-qualifying might not be a bad idea in some of these regions.
Right.
Ronaldo scored again. I tell you what. I mean, you have to give the guy credit, and you can't drop him at this point if you're Portuguese manager. Okay, so he dictates too much attention, but he just scores goals. He's now got equaled the record for most goals ever in World Cup qualifying.
And I watched the highlights this morning. Bruno Fernandes gave him a hug after the goal. So maybe the tide has turned for Portugal. I don't know.
Well, Bruno's being linked with the move to Saudi Arabia as well.
Well, now they're gonna set up competing statues from their mansions.
Statues like the sculpted ones, the beautiful ones, like
a weird but Ronaldo one.
The melted face.
Water out of his pee.
And that was against Hungary?
Yeah. That's Hungary.
Right. Well, I saw something about I think it was in 2009. I might be getting the year wrong, but it's a fair amount ago where Szoboszlai was a ball boy at the same age as Ronaldo is, or that Szoboszlai is now. It's like that speaks to his longevity, right?
That
it's unbelievable
crazy.
What he's continuing to do.
Jimmy, you sent that Peter Crouch ball boy picture.
Oh my God, I was dying.
Yeah, we should post that on the web. So you just look it up. Peter Crouch. I think it was a bet he lost or something.
Because he finished last in his fantasy football pool.
So what club was he being a ball boy at? It's some lower division team, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a ball boy. So you can imagine he's standing in front of
the
yeah,
the mascot.
Very funny.
So funny. I love Crouchy. That one of him when someone said that his family was worried because there's an image of them that they rolled up the awning on the pitch. They're carrying it off. Someone was worried that Crouchy had died or something, was being carried. I forget how it was. I mean, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yes, it resurfaces like twice a year.
Yeah, I love that
and
one.
He usually posts it because he's such a great sport.
He'd be so good on this. He used to clean your boots, Jimmy, at one point? QPR? No, that's Dicchio. It's Dicchio, QPR. He was
No, he
teammates
was my
with Dickon.
teammate in Norwich.
Oh, Norwich. Yeah, Norwich. Of course he was.
Yeah.
Well, make some
He
calls,
cleaned
Jimmy.
food.
Make some calls. Get Crouchy on the show. All right? That's your job today. I'm sure you're not busy.
Tomorrow.
All right. Anyway, that's Footy Prime again. As mentioned, we got the Jaden Nelson interview. Great chat, of course, with the Vancouver Whitecaps sporting director, Axel Schuster. Hasn't actually got that many views so far on the tube.
Oh, lots of things going on, and we did drop it at right after the Reacts show on Monday also. But JC had said, I can listen to this man forever. That's how I felt. I was mesmerized.
Mm-hmm.
He has one of those German voices that it's very Wagnerian, like kill the bunny rabbit.
Remind you of the immigration officer when you made your call?
Oh, God.
Is that
The
what it was?
consulate? Almost. He did.
Yeah.
But a lot friendlier and a lot.
Well, Whitecaps fans, you want to listen to that interview. It was very candid and very interesting, taking us inside the Thomas Muller signing.
Oh my
where
God.
the Caps are right
now. He did
now.
nothing. He didn't have to do anything.
Literally on a plate. There you go. Have that. Have some of that. Some bratwurst or whatever the hell they eat in Germany. Anyway, like us, subscribe to us, 5-star reviews, all that good stuff. And we are back tomorrow.
Got a broadcast this week?
Is that today or tomorrow?
Yes.
Do you know yet?
Tomorrow should be.
Tomorrow?
We're waiting to have an interview confirmed, but I think regardless, we'll have a broads. And on that note, friend of the show and Welsh women's national team coach, Rian Wilkinson, was in the stadium yesterday for the first half wearing a Terry Fox t-shirt.
Oh, awesome.
Because I think Marathon of Hope,
This
all
weekend.
that's happening in September. So Rian wanted to do that, and she got a few curious glances, she said. And then at halftime, because she was jet lagged, she was coming back from California, and she just got up and she said, okay, everybody. And she was sitting amongst all the delegates, all the important people in the Welsh FA and all of their special invites and people who were there. And she was like, okay, everybody, I'm really tired. It's been a great half of football, and I'll see you later. And she just left, and she got a couple of texts later, and they were like, that was the best exit I've ever seen. And she was like, thank you very much.
Class.
Yeah.
So broadcast is going to be dropping at some point later this week, and maybe we'll do a comment show tomorrow or something. We'll figure it out. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Cheers for listening and watching. Bye.